Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to this Kubernetes session. So yesterday we were talking about the services within this Kubernetes. So mainly there are four services. One is cluster IP, that is the internal service for pod-to-pod communication. Next is node port service for exposing a port on the node, and that port is mapped to the container port. Okay, so it's like port mapping in the Docker the way we did. Only thing, the port range over here will be 30,000 to 32767. So you have to choose a port between that range only. You cannot go below or above that range. But there was one drawback of having a node port service, because the URL will become the IP of the worker node colon node port. So if there are 10 worker node, then URL to access to that pod will be 10 URLs. Okay, so that's where the problem arises, and we have understood the load balancer service. So in case of load balancer, we will just get only a single URL that will get redirect, or that will transfer the request to all the worker nodes, okay, within the pod. Now yesterday we have created a load balancer automatically, means with the load balancer service a load balancer will get created within this cluster, and you will see this load balancer over here. If I just open this load balancer details, I'll get to see one IP address over here. That is nothing but an IP address of the load balancer, and if you just copy paste this IP address over the browser, you will be able to see that you are redirecting to this pod. So it's the same thing the way we have done yesterday. It's the same thing, only thing we are not using the IP address of the worker node anymore within the load balancer service. We are directly making use of the IP address of the load balancer. So no need to provide any port or nothing else, because the service port that we are using is port 80. Okay, and if you provide port over here, let's say 80, it will still remain the same, because by default the HTTP port is 80 over here. Let's see if I copy paste this thing within my this, so you can see we are using the HTTP protocol over here. So default, that is the default protocol as well. And whenever you are using HTTP protocol, colon 80 will get by default attached to that. So this is the port 80. 80 belongs to the port HTTP. HTTPS का क्या होता है? HTTPS का पोर्ट होता है 443. So these are some standard ports which we need to know. Okay, so that's where you don't have to provide any particular thing to that URL, like colon any port, nothing else like that, because in the load balancer we are making use of the port 80 over here. That is nothing but a service port, and the IP address that will get generated from this load balancer, we have to make use of that to access to all the ports having label type equal to front end. Okay, so I hope this load balancer also looks good. And yesterday this external IP was into the pending condition. uh, it takes some time to reflect the IP address of the load balancer over here. Once you I mean to say, once you wait for almost 10 to 15 minutes, definitely the IP address will appear over here automatically. And if you are still unable to see IP address over here, then you are always good to go to this cluster. Where you have to go, just go to the my projects, and within the my projects I have created few. One is the Docker server I have, one is Kubernetes cluster I have. So click on that Kubernetes cluster, and within this cluster which all resources are available, so that you can see from this resource section, and there are two servers as of now within this two worker node, and there is one load balancer. So once you click on this load balancer, you will get to see the IP address of that load balancer. Okay, so I hope this is pretty much clear now. Let me delete everything and we will start from scratch again. And similarly, we will delete all the pods and respective replica set and everything. Kubectl get, if you do kubectl get all, you will get to see all the services, all the pods, all the deployment. This deployment you can ignore right now. It was created, I have created this yesterday just to try out certain things. uh, we are ready to cover, we will discuss deployment today, so ignore this thing as of now. Kubectl get all. So now we have only the service. All is nothing but it will show the pods, it will show the replica set, deployment and services, and these four things majorly it will show in this thing. Okay, now let's talk about a new object that is nothing but a deployment within the Kubernetes. So we have seen the pods. Okay, in the particular section we have seen the pod. This pod is like a simple pod, nginx pod. Let's consider if you delete this pod, a new pod will not get generated. Then we have seen the replica set. So let's say if you create a pod with replica set, then definitely this pod, any of the pod gets deleted, in place of that a new pod will get generated. That is the meaning of, or that is the purpose of the replica set, because just by defining how many replicas we want, with hyphen replicas equal to, let's say, 10, so 10 number of pods will get created. If you say 1, so rest of the pod will get deleted and only one will be there. So likewise I can define how many replica of the pod I want, and it also provides the auto self-healing functionality. Okay, or auto healing also you can consider. Let's consider I have used a image over here as nginx, and I have created two pods from nginx image. Okay, now my team have worked upon this image, and a few developers also added some extra thing within this image. How means they have created a custom nginx image. Let's say this is the old image now, and nginx version v1 is, let's say, a new image. Okay, and now I want to deploy this new image. Okay, so what is going to happen over here? So if this pod belongs to, with the replica set, okay, if this pod belong to the nginx image, and now I want to change the image to nginx colon v1, in that case I need to create a new replica set with a new image name, and again two more pods will get created. So let me redraw. So over here, let's say a replica set with image nginx. This is a replica set with image nginx v1. Okay, and here as well I'm going to create two pods within this replica set, and I know this previous pods are no longer required, so I'm going to delete these pods, and means delete this replica set, because I have the updated version of that image and I have the pod from that image as well. So this is the thing how you can upgrade yourself or upgrade your application from one image to another image. Upgrading your application is nothing but changing the image over here, because image itself will have an application present within it. So this nginx image was having the older uh, application, this is having the newer application. So that's where this is kind of one of the upgrade. If you want to do with the replica set, this is how we have to do. What if there is some issue with this newer version of the v1, means newer version of the image? If this image is not working properly, or it's buggy, or our application is not running healthy, in that case we have to roll back to the previous image. Okay, so in this case, as we don't have the previous replica set, as we had deleted, we have to again create a new replica set with nginx image. So there are a lot of manual things over here, in case we have to upgrade or downgrade our environment or our application. Okay, so that's where deployment will help us easily to handle everything smoothly. Okay, how flow will work? Let's say if you create deployment as an object within the Kubernetes, internally it is going to create a replica set, and internally it is going to create two pods. Okay, so it's like a entire chain you can consider. Means a deployment will create replica set, and replica set will create pods. So till now we know replica set, we know pods, but deployment is new for us. So that's where if you try to create this deployment, okay, then a single replica set will get created associated with that deployment, and a pods will get created automatically. Okay, so this is how a flow will work over here. So let's first look into this scenario, this flow practically, and then I'll tell you how things will work in case of the upgrade. Okay, means why there is a need of using the deployment, that we will see. Yesterday I have created a file replicaset.yaml. Okay, so let's edit that file over here. Let's change the kind, as it is kind equal to replica set, so replica set will get created, but I want deployment to be created. So only change in the replica set and deployment YAML file is the change of the kind. That's the only change. Rest things will remain as it is. This custom, this is the custom thing, like what name you want to keep to your deployment. Let's say my first deployment. Okay, and let's say you want total number of pods equal to 2, and let's keep it rest of the thing as it is, like the pods will get created from image nginx, and there will be a selector as well with tier equal to front end, so that there will be some auto healing. If any pod will get deleted, it will get recreated automatically with the help of this controller. So deployment is also one of the controller. The way replica set is controller, deployment is also one of the controller, which will help us for this auto healing purpose. Okay, and meanwhile I'll change the image name over here. I have some custom images already created in my Docker Hub account. Let me log into my Docker Hub account. Okay, so I logged into my Docker Hub account, and within this there is there are certain images. So image name is like support there slash create as demo. This is a public image, you can also make use of it. So it's a customized image that I have created from nginx image, nothing else. I have updated the index.html within this, and there is certain color change. I will show you the output of this image, how it looks like. And there are three tags associated, so I have created three versions of the same image. So v1, v2, v3 I have provided. So these are nothing but the tags. Each and every tag have different data within that. Okay, so this is the image which I have created already along with me, and it's very simple. Only change in the index.html, the way we used to do till now. Similar kind of changes available over here. Okay, so I'm trying to create I'll try to create two pods. Okay, with the replicas equal to 2, and the pods will get created from this image. Let's save it, and just for the sake, I'll just change the name of this so that for better understanding, and apply it. mm, okay, some spelling mistake. Deployment. Okay. Okay, so if you do kubectl get all, I don't have anything, I just have a single service. And similarly, same thing is visible over dashboard as well. If I just show you the dashboard, within the dashboard you just have to select this default, not all the namespace, to get a proper information. Just select default. As of now you can see there is only this service, no pods, nothing else running over here, and this is the default service. Now if I try to apply this, the deployment got created, and the name of the deployment is my first deployment. So internally, if you see this deployment, there is one deployment got created. Okay, and the pods are internally uh, not 100% ready, so that's why they are not green. Okay, so once the pods are into the running condition, they will be green automatically. So one deployment I have created internally, that deployment will create a replica set. Okay, replica set I haven't created. This is the replica set, and within the replica set I said replica is equal to 2, so that's where two pods are created. Okay, so deployment internally will create replica set internally will create two pods. Okay, and if you just check over here, this is the deployment name which we have kept, my first deployment, and I have created this deployment from image v1, and this internally have created a replica set. Over here I never provide a replica set name. If I show you over here, so what will be the name of the replica set? Replica set name will be the deployment name hyphen some random characters. Okay, so deployment name is my first deployment and some random characters associated with it, that will be the replica set name. And what will be the pod name? The pod name simply will be the replica set name hyphen random characters. Okay, so we should know which pod belongs to which replica set and which replica set belongs to which deployment. To get all this information, we this Kubernetes will have this naming convention. As we have created a deployment just now, internally if you will see uh, deployment, okay, over here deployment got created, then this replica set got created, the same thing which I showed you over the Kubernetes dashboard. Same thing you can see from backend as well. The information will remain the same in the dashboard and in the backend as well. As I mentioned, replica is equal to 2, so that's where two pods got created over here. Okay, now let's try to access to this pod from outside, like from browser. Okay, so we have this service.yaml, and let's create a node port, and let's not provide any node port, so automatically a new node port will get assigned to this. And let's say my node port service, and that's all. Main is like type equal to front end. This is the same label I have attached to the pod. Okay, let's go ahead and create this service so that we can access to our pods. Okay, so a random pod got generated for this, and let's connect to this cluster, or let's connect to this pod via this IP address. Okay, you can use this IP address as well, or you can use this IP address as well. It is going to work with both. And the IP is this, port is 30769, 30769. And let's see. It seems some issue. Internally it should redirect request to this pod. Okay, let's confirm everything one more time. Just give me a moment. Okay, so I think I was on mute. So what I have done over here, I have just updated this deployment YAML file. I have updated the version, means I have changed the even if you change the tagging over here, it means this image will entirely be new image. Okay, so you are upgrading your application from version v1 to version v2. In that case, what internally it is going to do, it is going to create a new replica set. Okay, uh, this is the new replica set, and internally it is going to create pods as well, and this replica set will make use of the image v2, and the pods will get created from the v2. So all these things will happen internally, it's not something we have to manage it. Okay, so the main thing over here, like the pods will get created from the newer image, and automatically once, so let me explain the flow as well. A new replica set will get created. Within new replica set, a pod will get created. Once this pod will be up and running condition, then one pod from the previous replica set will get deleted. Then again a new pod will get created in new replica set, and previous pod will get deleted. So this will happen on regular basis, and in this way all the new pods will get created with newer image in new replica sets. Okay, सब कुछ new replica set के अंदर होगा, and slowly old replica set में से एक एक pod delete होते जाएगा, and at the end all the old replica set pods will get deleted. So in within this old replica set, 0 pods will be there, and new replica set के अंदर 2 pod will be there. Okay, why this is happening over here? Because I want pods with latest image, that is my goal. Because if pod is with the latest image, it means our application got upgraded, and application will get upgraded only if you change the image. So in last case, when we were not learning deployment, we were learning only replica set, so that time we have to do lot many things manually. But deployment is a very good option over here to handle a kind of deployment to our cluster. Okay, so replica set will never get deleted. Okay, only pods within that replica set will get deleted. Okay, so that's where if I try to show you practically, kubectl will get all, and only the, okay, you can see the deployment is still available there, which is 12 minutes back we have created, and this had created 12 minutes back this replica set. But right now within this replica set there are zero number of pods, as we have upgraded our application or upgraded our deployment. So each every change in the image will create a new replica set. So this is the new replica set it has created 4 minutes back. Okay, and within the new replica set you will see all the pods, and these pods will also belongs to the new replica set, because just from the naming convention you can see the replica set name end with dd7. So over here as well you will see dd7 hyphen some random characters, dd7 hyphen some random characters. It means this pod belongs to replica set ending with dd7, and this is having the latest image. And if I try to access to our pods, you will see some change in the background, change in the content, because now this URL is pointing to the upgraded pods. Understood this much? If you want to get the docker file for this, so this is the only change I have done in the index.html. Just create one of the folder, let's say dummy, and create this index.html file with this content. Sorry, And once you are with index.html, create a Docker file over here and make use of the from nginx, copy index.html, and what location you have to copy, that is mentioned over here. Okay, so this is the simple HTML file. This is the simple Docker file I meant to say, and that's all. Just build it and make use of it. So you can just build it using the docker build command and push it with the docker, tag that image first to your account name and then push it. So how to build and how to push, that we have already seen, so we'll not go into that detail right now. So this is how you can make use of this, or you can create your own docker file for this practical as well. And if you already aware how to create and all those things, then you can make use of uh, my image name as well, as these are the public images. Anyone can go ahead and pull those images which I have created. Okay, what is one more benefit? Okay, let's talk about that as well. Let's say I have this version v1 image, version v2 image, and now I got one more image, let's say a version v3. Okay, so again what it is going to do, it is going to do one more replica set. Same steps will repeat. Okay, one more replica set and few pods over here. So let's draw this diagram. If you change image as much time, as many replica set, means that much time. Let's say if you change the image 5 times, so 5 replica sets will get created. So it's all about creating a new replica set automatically. So let's say this is the version v3 and new replica set and new pod will get created. Okay, so let's check this out as well. We have one more within this I mean to say, you can see there are 3 tags associated with the image, so I can use v1, v2, v3, all the tags. Let's say change the image to v3. Let's apply it. If you want to watch it closely, what exactly things are happening in background, okay, so you can do kubectl get all. Okay, so this is going to execute the command every 2 seconds. Okay, kubectl get all. So let's apply it and let's head over to this output. Okay, so now one pod is getting created over here in the new replica set. Okay, I can see this is the new replica set 11 seconds before. Once the once that thing is happening, then the older replica set, the pod within the older replica set will get deleted. So it's happen in background so quickly, sometimes we are not able to see it on the screen. Okay, but the way I have explained, that is the workflow it is going to follow. So you can see 20 seconds before this new replica set will get create a new replica set got created, and within the new replica set all the pods are up and running, and this pod belongs to the newer replica set. And if I try to access to these pods, then not this one, now you can see it got changed to version v3 because URL is same, only it is redirecting to different pod now. Earlier it was redirecting the version v2 pod, now it is redirecting to the version v3 pod. So that's where we don't have to change anything in the URL. Only thing the pods will get recreated with a newer image. Now, why this is happening means, why like one pod is getting created over here and one pod is getting deleted from this side. One pod is getting created a new replica set, and similarly this is going to get deleted. It's just because of the high availability. Okay, high availability means my application should be up and running for 24 by 7. Let's say let's say all the pods gets deleted from this and all the pods gets created over here, and creation में let's say it take let's say 1 minute. डिलीट होने में तो क्या 2 सेकंड में डिलीट हो जाएंगे, बट लेट्स से क्रिएशन में 1 मिनट लगता है. सो जब तक 100% मेरे पॉड्स क्रिएट नहीं होंगे तब तक माई एप्लीकेशन विल बी डाउन. So that's why one pod at a time it is working, so that my application will be up and running for 24 by 7. So we call it as a high availability. Okay, actually there are two ways of doing this deployment. Means there are two strategies that Kubernetes follows in case of the deployment. One is like a rolling update, and the way I have explained the functionality or the workflow over here, that belongs to the rolling update. Rolling update matlab one pod in the new replica set will get created, and once that will be up and running, ओल्ड रिप्लिका सेट में से एक पॉड डिलीट हो जाएगा, अगेन एक पॉड नए में बनेगा, एक पुराने में से डिलीट हो जाएगा. सो लाइकवाइज things will happen in case of rolling update, that is mainly for the high availability. Okay, but this is kind of a slow, because let's say there are 100 pods to be created, then if you do one pod at a time, then it the process will repeat for 100 times. Means that's where we can call this rolling update as a good strategy but slow strategy. Next is like recreate. In case of the recreate, all the older replica set pods will get deleted at a time, and all the newer pods, or like in the new replica set, the new pods will get created at a time, not one by one. So let's say if you have to create 100 pods, so at a time 100 pods will get deleted and 100 pods will come up in parallel. So that's where this is kind of much faster, but not high availability, because if that 100 pod is taking a lot of time to get it started or get it up and running, so till the time up and running nahi aate, that much time will be the downtime of our application. So when to use which one? If your environment is very much sensitive, very much important to your customer, it's kind of a production environment consider, where you cannot afford to have a zero down, where cannot afford to have a downtime. In that case, you can always go ahead and make use of this like production environment. And in case of the development environment, where you are not much worrying about the downtime, it you are okay to have the downtime, but you want some speed, you want quick deployment, quick upgrade, that time you can go ahead and make use of the recreate strategy. And the default strategy that Kubernetes deployment provides is a rolling update. Okay, so just understand the difference between these two, when to use which one, and what are the advantage and disadvantage of both the things. ओके, अभी तक जो भी डिस्कस किया, यू अंडरस्टूड दैट पॉइंट प्रॉपरली. Now let's talk about one more functionality that deployment provides, that is nothing but rollback. What if this deployment of version v3, let's say v3 I have deployed and tester is trying to test it, and let's say tester have found out a lot of bugs, and upper management decides to roll it back. मतलब जो v3 से पहले जो भी वर्जन था, now they want the previous version, not the latest. मतलब latest में कुछ problems है, इसलिए they want to go back to the previous version. So that is also possible with the deployment. We call it as a rollback. In general way, we call it as a rollback. In case of the Kubernetes, we call it as a rollout. Okay. So in Kubernetes language, we will roll out, or you can say a downgrade your application from version v3 to version v2. You can do that. For that matter, you even should not know what is the version of the, means what is the previous version. अभी there are only three version v1 v2 v3, so I know कि इसके पहले का version v2 ही होगा. I can say with the guarantee, but let's say there are hundreds of version, and which current version you know, but previous version, let's say you are not aware, still you can go ahead and roll it back without any problem. Okay, so let's do that. kubectl rollout deployment. What is the deployment name? This. And if you think from where I'm just using all those commands, okay, so you can always go to this my GitHub repository, and you can just check all those things over here. Okay, so this rollout commands provides three options. I'll explain. Rollout undo is nothing but like going one step back. Okay, so kubectl rollout undo this deployment, and which deployment we want to undo. It means currently it's on version v3. If you can just see this page, you will get to see the same thing. But if you want to go back to the one version, then rollout undo, you can do it, and that is going to roll back your application to one step back or one previous version. So what things will happen in background? Okay, as you are rolling it back, so one pod will get created in this replica set. Once this is up and running, नए में से, because अभी क्या है, आपको रोल बैक करना है, आप नया इमेज यूज नहीं कर रहे हो, तो पुराना ही इमेज यूज कर रहे हो. So this replica set belongs to the old previous version. Okay, so within this replica set, pods will come up, एंड लेटेस्ट रिप्लिका सेट जो था उसमें से पॉड्स डिलीट हो जाएंगे. यहाँ पे एक पॉड आ जाएगा फिर से, एंड दिस पॉड विल गो अवे. इन शॉर्ट, जो अपग्रेड में हो रहा था उसका रिवर्स हो रहा है इन शॉर्ट. ठीक है, तो जब आप क्या बोलते हैं रोल बैक करते हो, तो इन दैट केस Kubernetes is intelligent enough to create the pods in the correct replica set. We don't have to guide to the Kubernetes like which replica set belongs to which version of the image. It knows everything. You just have to hit kubectl rollout undo command, and things will happen in background automatically. So if I want to show you practically, this rollback completed successfully, and let's check which all things are there. So just a minute and a half, pods got created, and this is the version v2. टाइमिंग से ही आप पता कर सकते हो, जो सबसे पुराना और सबसे लॉन्ग एज वाला रेप्लिका सेट है, दैट इज द फर्स्ट रेप्लिका सेट. उसके बाद सेकंड रेप्लिका सेट, एंड दिस इज द थर्ड रेप्लिका सेट. ओके, थर्ड रेप्लिका सेट मतलब लेटेस्ट वन. This is the second latest, and this is the first one. Okay, so now all the pods will be on version v2. If you want to just confirm it, just refresh this page, and now you will see version v2. So rollback is also possible, upgrade is also possible, each and everything is possible over here. If you want to uh, go to the first one, like you can go to that as well. So each and everything is possible in case of this deployment, like you can go from version v1 to v2, v2 to v3, v3 से v1 भी आप jump कर सकते हो. That is the that facility is also provided by this Kubernetes कि you can jump from v3 से v1 as well. And with rollout there are certain commands as well. If you just check out hyphen hyphen help, sorry, spelling mistake. You can see, you can just check the history of our all the rollouts. You can restart the rollout, means restart all the pods under that deployment. And then you can check the status. Undo is to go to the previous step. So each and every option you can just explore. Let's say if I want to check the history, not the undo, let's say history is just going to show you how many times the I meant to say deployment has done, how many times rollout has been taken place. So all those things you can do. Let's say if you want to check for this revision, means you want to get more details. I think spelling mistake. So in the revision 1 we were using this image. So now this is the third revision, fourth revision. So this output is not that much important, but you can definitely go and see at what point in time or at which revision we have updated our image and what was the image in that. So latest, this is the latest one. Okay, you will always get to see the latest image in the last revision. Let's say this is the 4. So you can see this is the image that we are using over here. So history is all about to check the previous things what we have done so far within that. And status is to just check, means rollout status is also one of the command which is just to check the status that rollout is completed or not. Let's say there are 100 pods and 100 pods को rollout करने में time जाता है, तो let's say that is completed only 60%. So status will show you the status accordingly that it is still in progress or something like that. So rollout is the command to only for the rollback. Mainly that is the main purpose of using the rollout. I think that's all that I have to explain in case of this deployment. There are few more things, but we will discuss that tomorrow because I think I have shared a lot of things in today's section about the deployment. A few things, few remaining things. Definitely, we will cover it tomorrow. So, just wanted to know from you guys. So, whatever we have discussed so far, are you good with that, or have some doubts in your mind? Okay, that's all from my end. See you tomorrow in that case with your doubts if you're having. Thank you so much for joining. Take care. Bye bye.